Good morning and welcome to Thursday the Expert。大家早上好，欢迎来到星期四专谈。我们今天会有佩云 ，Today we have Clarice. Remember the previous time whereby we talk about healthy food preparation？ 记得我们上次跟佩云谈过，就是我们健康饮食的准备。所以我们上次跟他谈的是第一部分。The previous time we kind of like spoke with her would be the part 1。And today will be part 2， 今天就是第二个部分。我们今天的第二个部分会有一点点短。For the second part today, it will be more like a summary and more like a test for you all. So it will be slightly shorter. Without further ado， 我们不要再等了，让我们欢迎佩云。Let us welcome Clarice。佩云，好 ，Hi Clarice。
Hi everyone. Hi Alvin.
Before we start, Clarice, 佩云，我们今天开始之前，让我们做一个回顾好吗 ？Shall we show our friends a summary slide so at least they can refresh their memory on what we spoke about previously， 所以他们才能再怎么 refresh 一下他们上次所学到的东西。所以让我们去看一下 ，Let us go and see the recap。
Okay, Alvin, today we're going to ask 3 questions on true and false, all related to healthy food preparation. So I will ask the very first question and you guys can guess whether it's true or false. 所以我们今天呢会问你们大家3个对与错的问题，都是有关于健康准备食物的一些问题呢。你们能猜猜看哪一个是对，哪个是错呢？所以our very first question will be replacing white sugar with brown sugar or honey for a healthier fix. Is that a true or false? 让我们来问第一个问题的话，就是我们来用糖或蜜蜂呢代取白糖会比较健康，对还是错呢？Okay, if you answer false, then you are right because sugars are no better than refined white sugars or simple carbohydrates. They are easily utilized by the body for energy but stored as fat if not needed. So essentially all sugars are the same. So be it you change it with honey or brown sugar, the only minor difference is that in the presence of their minerals and impurities or the coloring. So regardless any type of sugar, right, it will be eventually broken down into glucose, which enters our bloodstream and use it as energy for our daily activities, such as the exercises that you do with Alvin. So the answer is false. 所以呢，如果你答案是假的或者是错呢，你就答正确的，因为这些糖呢，不是说比精致的白糖好，精致的白糖是一种简单的碳水化合物，所以 what we call the carbohydrates， 所以它容易吸收在我们体内，如果不需要呢，它会作为脂肪储存在我们的身体里面，所以基本上呢，所有的糖都是相同的。它只是在它的矿物质呢，或者它的色素有一些差异。说不管不同的糖呢，它始终会分解为我们所谓的葡萄糖。葡萄糖会导入在我们的血液中，它会变成一种能量，就是我们帮助我们每天所需要的做的一些活动啊，例如运动啊，成为力量的一种所需要的身体所需要的一种方式。
就是最重要的就是糖分，对吗？糖分的多少不管是蜜糖、白糖或这个 brown sugar， 最重要的就是它的糖分是多少。So most importantly is not the type of sugars. At the end of the day is how much each of these sugar products will have. Okay, so I hope you guys understand better. 我希望你们了解多一点。所以我们要去我们第二个问题。We're going to go to our second question. Let's find out what is our second question.
Okay, if your answer is false, not true, that is absolutely correct. So, actually, what the current evidence shows that if you use properly the microwave ovens, it does not affect the nutritional content of food more than conventional heating or any types of cooking methods. So, rather, microwaves are often affected by mainly the water molecules. They steam the food from inside out. So, meaning they actually help to retain most of the nutrients that we're looking at. So it's important to note that all types of cooking that tend to cause a loss of nutrients, this is so it's best that you keep the cooking time very short or consume it immediately after cooking to minimize the nutrients loss as much as possible. So something that a microwave can do as well, because it uses very little liquid to minimize the nutrient loss. 所以呢，如果你答案是错误的呢，至少它不是正确的话，就是答对了。因为根据我们现在的那个证据呢，它是告诉我们，如果你使用微波炉恰当的话，它不比传统的好像炉子或加热食物的营养成分来的少，所以它没有太大的那个影响力，所以因为那个微波炉呢，它是用水蒸气嘛，所以它是把里面你的食物蒸熟到食物当中，所以它大致上都会保留一些的营养素质，所以我们必须指出呢，说任何的一些烹饪都会造成营养的损失，所以你可以呢当做就是尽量煮之后尽量吃，避免那个营养流失，或尽量用少一点水。所以它的关键就是这样子，所以我们不会说微波炉其实也是一个非常适合的一个方式，因为它会用 它其实没有用太多的水分，造成营养的流失。
佩云说了这个微波炉，我想到多一个话题，我们朋友们应该会很有兴趣的，就是哪一个煮的方法会比较好？So another topic I think a lot of our friends would be interested to would be the different methods of cooking and which one would be the best. But we are not going to talk about it today. 我们今天不会谈这个话题，我们改天再谈好吗？ Let's talk about it another session, another video. So now let us move on to our third question. 我们进入我们第3个问题。
Okay, so if your answer is still false, then you are correct because this is the same question as what we asked from question 1. It's now we're talking about salt. So regular salt that is not any or less healthy than sea salt or salt flakes because all salts comes from either sea or the salt deposit. So they all contain sodium. So just to emphasize again, the last time I said that sodium a day, it's like a time size. So time size on a daily basis, which is about 2000 mg per day. So it can raise one blood pressure if consumed in excess. So the difference between sea salt and table salt is basically the nutritional value that goes by weight because they contain the same amount of sodium. So the difference between sea salt is how they are produced and in terms of their texture because sea salt is usually produced through the evaporation of seawater. So they depending on the water sources. So some of them has some trace of minerals and elements such as magnesium which may be left behind, while table salt and sea salt and kosher salt, different types of salt, they don't differ much in terms of sodium content by weight, but the difference is just the volume because sometimes you see sea salt and kosher salts, they are usually coarser than table salt. So this means that maybe perhaps when a recipe calls for salt or a teaspoon of salt, you might actually put less salt because the grains of the sea salts are actually bigger than your fine grain table salt. So maybe there's potential that you might use a lesser salt content or eating less sodium instead. 所以我们说如果你答案还是错误的话，你也是对，因为它是根据跟糖的那个答案是差不多有相关的，因为所有的盐呢都来自于海洋或者是盐的矿，所以它基本上都有含钠。如果使用过量呢，它会造成你的那个血压飙升呐。所以海盐和食盐的营养价值它是大概是相通的，所以我们是说海盐跟食盐之间呢，它们区别是在它们生产跟它们的质地。所以通常呢，海盐是通过水蒸气蒸发而产生的，所以它跟着它不同的水源的关系，它会残留一些矿物质，所以这些矿物质呢会列入一些镁的那个矿物质残留下来。所以尽管你使用好像食盐啊或者海盐，它的基本上它的体积面积可能有一点不同，因为可能那个海盐它的量会比较粗，所以这意味着如果好像你坚持要用你的食谱叫你们用1茶匙的盐的食谱呢，它基本上可能大颗粒的那个粗盐反而你那个细颗粒的食盐，你们消耗他们吃的那个盐会可能比较少，或我们说钠可能会吃的比较少，所以它的这个情况可能会 发生，所以我们可能会吃的比较少一点点。所以可是它基本上不是比较健康，我们没有说它会比较健康一点点。对，
谢谢佩云的讲解。哇，佩云很狡猾。Clarice is very tricky. So the main thing I think from what Clarice has mentioned would be not to look at the type of the source of sugar or salt. 我们尽量不要看我们这个糖或这个盐的来源，最重要就是看我们的这个比例 is our proportion in terms of weight. I think weight would be a best measure. 我们重量是一个比较好的这个衡量，因为你30g 跟30g 不同的这个来源，一定是大概一样的这个糖分或盐分。So you compare 30g to 30g, there wouldn't be much difference in terms of the between sources because most of them their composition is around the same. The only difference is the minerals that come with the different types of sources. 最主要的分别就是不同来源可能一些会有比较多那种minerals 那些养分，对吗？所以这个就是我们要记住的。This is what we need to remember. Okay, so I hope you guys had fun answering these 3 questions. 我希望你们很开心、很乐于的这个参加我们这个3个不同的问题。希望你们全部都答对。I hope all of you have answered these questions correctly. We have come to the end of today's video. 我们已经来到我们今天视频的尾端，让我们感谢佩云。Let us thank Clarice. 谢谢佩云 ，Thank you Clarice.
Thank you everyone. Hope you all had fun answering all the questions, and also I think most importantly is to reduce the amount of salt and reduce the amount of sugar that you are taking in that, and then use some of the tips that I shared in the previous video on how to reduce salt intake so that we don't really increase our blood pressure. 所以谢谢大家尽量就是少吃糖或者是少吃盐就是告诉你们上一次我们在视频当中分享一些讯息，如何减少盐分，所以大家都吃得健康。谢谢大家 ，Thanks everyone。
对了 ，So 我们希望你们会用实际的行动来去这些我们的知识，你们会用实际的行动来去practice 一下啦。I hope all of you will take practical action to this knowledge that we have shared with you all. Remember, we still have exercise tomorrow. 我们明天有运动，明天的这个公告很重要。Tomorrow's announcement is very important. You'll be announcing the winners for our Chinese New Year contest too. 我们会公布我们新年活动2的这个赢家，记得要收看。Remember to come and watch our video. See you tomorrow. 明天见，再见了，拜拜。